If you read the title correctly, today we are going to be starting with $0 in a welder and trying to build our wealth. So first we need to land a couple of welding jobs so that way I can afford a truck so we can do mobile welding jobs. So I've been advertising and my neighbor saw the ad and he actually has a frame that he needs welded on his 2003 Ford F350. So he's going to be pulling up any minute for me to fix his frame and make some money. Well, he just pulled up here, so we're going to get our welder fired up here. I'm going to open the garage door back up so I don't get smoked out. But here is the truck. This is actually my truck that you can get, link in the description on my Patreon if you're interested. But he actually has part of his frame that is cracked that he needs to be re-welded. So that's what we're going to be doing here today, and this is going to be our first ever welding job. Having rock lights under this truck is going to make it way easier to weld this frame, but we got the welder warming up, so we're going to go ahead and get it out if we can here. Here we go, I got her out. Let's go ahead and touch up this frame and get this frame welded back on. Alright, and she's officially done. So basically what he had me to was weld up part of the bumper where it connects, and it was cracked, unfortunately, so I ended up welding it back together for him, and it looks perfect. Now the insurance company won't know, and it won't be a salvage title, or scrapped, whatever. But that is our first ever welding job for our new business, so we're going to get this guy's truck on out of here, and hopefully land a couple more jobs so I can afford my first truck. And just like that, he is off, and it looks like his wheel is about to fall off. What is going on with this truck? Or he's just high. One of the two. Anyways, that is our first welding job that we landed, and we made about 1,500 bucks off of that, and we're going to go ahead and hopefully do our next couple of jobs here, as long as I get a couple calls from our ads. And just like that, I got another call about somebody wanting their flatbed welded up, so they're going to head on over here, and we're going to end up welding their flatbed back together and hopefully making a little bit more money. Alright, so here is the truck that we are going to be fixing. Some of the welds on this are kind of junky from what he said, so he basically just wants me to re-weld everything. So we're going to grind all of it down, and then we are going to re-weld everything on this flatbed. And here we go. There we go. There is our first weld on this flatbed. Let's do another bead on top of that. And just like that, I have this whole side of the flatbed re-welded and redone. I spray painted what I could to make everything look like it was before, and it actually looks really good. It doesn't even look like there's any difference other than the fact that the welds look way better. So let's flip the truck around and do the other side and get this guy on out of here. And with a couple hours worth of work, we made $3,500 off of that, so I think we should be able to go buy our first truck. Let me scroll Marketplace and see if I can find anything decent, and then I'll have my wife bring me over to wherever they are selling it, and hopefully we'll buy a truck. Closing up shop here, I think I found a truck that I want. My wife is on the way to come pick me up, so I'm going to go ahead, shut our garage door, wait for her, and let's see if she can bring me on over here, and we can buy our first truck for our welding business. Well, here she is. This truck is a 2005 Ford F550 base model 6.0 Power Stroke, and I actually picked this thing up for a pretty good deal, but I'm definitely going to have to land some more welding jobs so that way I can make up for the truck, because I did put myself in a little bit in the hole, but we should be able to dig ourselves out pretty fast considering that we're welders. Well, I just went and talked to the guy, and we officially made a deal on this truck. The truck is officially now ours, so let's go ahead, get in here, and start it up. This truck is fully straight piped and EGR deleted. Other than that, it is bone stock, not bulletproofed, anything like that. So let's go ahead and get on out of here, back our truck on out, and hopefully head home, throw our welder on it, and then we'll be able to do mobile welding jobs. Well, I just got home with the new truck, so we're going to go ahead, open the garage door, and get the welder loaded up onto the bed of the truck right about here. We'll get it strapped down, and we'll be officially a mobile welder. In Farming Simulator, I meant real life. Alright, we got her loaded up in the back of the truck and strapped down. We are officially a mobile welder, and we actually just landed our first job, so we're going to go ahead, close the door behind us, and get going to our first ever mobile welding job. Let's get in the truck, start her on up. And after a long 1-hour drive, we made it to our first job ever. Now, this looks like wood, but it's actually metal. It's so rusted that we're going to be having to weld a lot of these back together because the customers said that a lot of these have broken off throughout the years. So we're basically going to be welding these big poles back on as a fence. This thing's supposed to be a fence, but some of them are kind of coming off due to rust and just the nature and hail and all the weather elements. So we're going to be welding them right back on. Alright, well, we got her all set up here, so let's go ahead and do our first weld here, about right there. And that looks pretty good. Let's do our next one right down here. Looking good. Back up a little bit for this one. And then our last one right here. And there we go. We are officially done. Keep pulling my chainsaw out of my pocket. But we are officially done with these welds here. But we still have a lot more to go. But we did pretty much all of these that were broken. And we actually ended up making $8,500 off of that. Just because of how long it took and how many of them there were. So that's definitely going to pay off with this truck. Let's head back home and see if we can land a couple more mobile welding jobs. And before I could even head back home, we just got another call for another mobile welding job. One of the local farms up here needs another piece of their barn welded, so we are on our way to go weld another piece of a barn. We just pulled up to our next job. I was wrong. It was a grain silo that we need re-welded. So basically, these welds here are kind of broken. Now, there is screws held on here, but it is also slightly welded on here, and just for extra reinforcement. Some of the welds broke, so we are going to re-weld them back together like we did before. I pulled as far over to the left as I could to give myself as much room to work with on this side because it's kind of tight through here. But we should be able to make do with what we have. So let's get our welder out and get this welded back together and make some more money. Alright, well I pulled forward just a tad bit so that way I could get a little bit more room because it was a little bit tight. But let's go ahead and do our first bead here. Looking good. There's our first one. Let's do our second one right here. And going a little bit slower through here. That looks good as well. And then we're going to go on the backside and weld the backside as well. And just like that, we did that and made $1,000 right there. So I'm making pretty good money as a welder, as most welders do. But let's go ahead and head on home unless I land another job. I am just pulling back up to the shop here. We did our 2 jobs and we are now arriving back home. It is about 5 o'clock, so I'm going to park the truck for the night, get her cleaned up and washed up because those old back roads get the truck a little dirty. So I'm going to get the truck and the welder all cleaned up and then I'm going to head home for the night. Hopefully weld a couple more jobs tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to film for another little bit, so I'll come back in like a year and update you guys on how I'm doing with our welding business. Over the next couple of years, I continued with my welding business. I paid off my truck and concluded that welding is definitely a good job to get into. Well guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video because it is the end of the video. I made over $1 million mobile welding and I'd say that's pretty good. A couple years later, we still got our 05 F350 with our Miller stick welder. So I think we're doing pretty good. I think it was a pretty profitable business, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. Me and It's Optic are racing to 10K subscribers, so if you could subscribe, it'd help me out more than you ever know. If you are interested on how to actually weld in Farming Simulator 22, you can actually weld. This is RMC's welder, so I'm not exactly sure where you get it. I think it's on an itch.io. You can actually get these welders and actually weld in Farming Simulator. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Love you. Bye.